What is going on, you guys? Today we are going to be talking about one of my favorites, Anadrol. And it's a little pill that makes everything magically get lighter. So, how do we talk about this? Let's see. Anadrol is a very interesting compound. Now, it's got an argument between Anadrol and Dianabol. Everybody's kind of got their own opinion on what's better. I like Anadrol. I've used D-ball in the past. There's nothing wrong with it. I just think Anadrol like gives you a look that's a little bit unique, and I like the fullness from it. I like the water is more in the muscle, and it kind of helps you like get that pop. Whereas Dianabol seems like it just kind of puts water everywhere a little bit, but it's not like bad depending on your body type. It just depends on your diet a little bit and some other stuff. But Anadrol is really awesome. I think it's amazing. Little experience when I first started it or tried it. Um, I would say that like I started at about 50 milligrams, and these were pharmacy grade, so they were good quality. And I just noticed that after the first 2 weeks, it takes about like 2 weeks to really shine. Like your muscles will definitely get stronger in the first like 5 days, but the the look starts appearing, I'd say, like, the second week, late into the second week, it starts kinda showing, and then the longer you stay on it, the more the pop and the look just starts coming. Uh, so 50 milligrams is a great starting point. The problem with Anadrol, okay, is that most people like, they can't eat on it. It's a big appetite killer. This has to do with they say it's very toxic, but believe me, it's a lot safer than most, the compounds. It's actually a little bit, you know, I hate to say it, but forums, they tend to like make everything scary, because, I've been using it for like years and years and years in my experience. And, I've gone on it for like 4 months at a time, and I've had no real significant health markers that were like, oh my God, you're gonna die. All right, maybe some elevated livers a little bit, you know. And the thing with this is that that's why I say like forums are very just to get a little off topic, kind of forums are a good source to get like an idea, but not the truth. Okay. Because what happens is like you'll go on a forum, and then it'll be like these guys that own this like the site, okay, and don't they're there to make money, okay. So a lot of times like those scare guys will be like, oh, you need to buy this to protect your liver from that, and this it's all stuff that they sell. Now, is it good to take liver support? Hell yeah. I would recommend either NAC or tudka or milk thistle. Those are the top three for your liver. You don't really need anything beyond that. You take one or the other, or rotate them, or take them together if you got the money. And you should do it if you're taking orals. You should. It's not a bad thing to do. It definitely helps keep the liver like cleansed and moving, um, and healing. Because especially NAC, that's like I believe it's what the hospitals give you when you have like liver failure to cure you, but like with IV or something. Uh, but yeah, no, it's definitely good to have support. But what I'm trying to get to is that um, when you go to a forum, a lot of times like they'll try to like sell you things extras to put you in fear mode. Like if you take this, you have to take that, and you need to take that with this, and just to make sure that they fear you into buying stuff that they're selling through like you know affiliates or whatever you want to call it. Like they'll be like, "Here, go to this site. You can use my code. This will hook you up good." And the guy's getting a kickback, and he's just making money off you. A lot of times you can just go on Amazon and get something simple. But I just want to say, just like don't go by forums. Find someone who's knowledgeable, uh, and just will kind of give you no BS. That's what you want. No one wants to be fed bullshit. All right. So you want the truth. You want to be successful in this and not be strung around. So back to Anadrol. So Anadrol is like how do I put it? It's kind of like it's almost like an anavar, but with water retention that helps you lift heavier. That's the best explanation of it. Like anavar makes you really strong, but you're dry. Anadrol will make you really strong. You're kind of dry, but you're kind of full, like a little bit of water. Like there's that bloated, not bloated, but like that rounded, bubbly look it kind of gives you a little bit. It's just a fuller look, like a different type of fullness. And your strength will definitely go up. And you will just like within a couple weeks, you'll just see that you're breaking records with whatever you normally would lift. And you'll look at your arms and your shoulders will be popping more. And you just get like everything's like really cool. It's not like I mean, it's not going to turn you into Jay Cutler, so I don't think that, but it'll definitely bring out the best fullness in you for where you're at. And I can say that like a lot of people use it for like breaking plateaus, like when they get stuck on like a bench press weight that they want to kind of like get past, then they implement it, and usually it helps. Uh, Orals are kind of like tools, like when you need them. They're not like for like, and they're not like an injectable where it's like they're doing the injectables are really what's doing the long term work on your body to like get you where you want. Uh, Orals are kind of like for a purpose, like you go on like Winstrol when you're doing your cutting diet or something, and it helps give you. They're more like cosmetically, but like they have their purpose in adding to your strength and change. They work. What can I tell you? And they work really fast and really good. Um, but I've experimented with dosages. This is kind of a touchy thing because everybody's different. I don't want anyone to just run off with this, but I think it maxes at like 100 for the person who's like around 200 pounds. Like if you take 100 milligrams, I would say if you're like 200 pounds or under, you don't need more than that. And you don't want to take more than that because then like you won't be able to grow because you'll get like it kills your appetite. It has to do with like minerals and stuff that it is like mineral retention a little bit and it is a little toxic, but it's not like because I can take like D-ball is like more toxic in my opinion, but you can eat on D-ball like no problem. But Anadrol just like has an effect that really just kills hunger. That's why it's usually good for like when you're going on stage because it kind of blunts your appetite. Um, so what I would suggest is start at like 50 milligrams maybe. And this is just in my opinion. I'm not a doctor. Blah blah blah. Um, I would do like maybe 50 milligrams, and then if if you feel like you're eating good, your appetite is still on fire, you could go to 100. You don't need to go beyond that because then you might get like high blood pressure, uh, or side effects like headaches. It can cause some people or just silly things. You just don't want to go there. Um, as soon as you start getting like that kind of a thing, because not a lot of people check their blood pressure. You definitely want to drink a lot of water when you're using it. Um, and you know, and you should check your blood pressure actually as a bodybuilder anyway, because you want to make sure that you're keeping your kidneys protected. So if you need to, you go to your doctor and say, "Hey, my my blood pressure has been pretty high. You definitely get on something. It's not going to affect your lifts or anything crazy like that." A lot of people take, I think it's called Ramipril or telmisartan. Uh, I use telmisartan for my own blood pressure, so I'll just, whatever, full disclosure. Um, and it's doctor prescribed. It was pretty easy to get, actually. I just said, can I please get this one because it lasts longer and you don't got to take it that long. I mean, take it twice a day or anything like that. And my doctor was kind of compatible with it at first. He was a little stubborn, but I got him. Um, so yeah, that's what like I would have to say. Anadrol is just like it's a really a power lifter type thing. It's not, it's like, you power lifters abuse the hell out of it, but you don't want to do that because we're not power lifters. Usually most bodybuilders aren't. It's cool to lift heavy weight, but we have a different goal. It's more for the look. Um, so I wouldn't go above 150 milligrams because the only reason that some of the big guys do, to be honest with you, is just because they have that much more mass to feed. It's not like a like 100 pound, like say 150 pound guy or whatever should do 500 like milligrams of it. He's just gonna get like you're just gonna get super sick because your body's not even gonna like need all that. Okay, that's what happens when people do. They go too high too quickly when they start doing this stuff, and their body's not like ready for it because they're not even at that plateau yet to need it. So that's the thing. It goes like this. Like this is how it goes. Like you work out, you take a little bit more. You work out, you get bigger, you take a little bit more. You don't just do this and then you're here and then your body's like, what do I do with all this? You know what I mean? So that's why people get like test flu. That's why people get more side effects, headaches, fever, crap feeling stuff, like they're tired, you know. Trust me, I've done it all. I've felt every little mistake in the book later early in my time starting all this. So trust me, I'm just trying to save you the trouble. And uh but Anadrol is really cool. It's a really cool compound. I don't think people should fear it at all because they prescribe it like regularly to people for like other things. So I don't think there's like harm in it. And some people take it all year round for other medical reasons. Um excuse me. Um so if you're gonna start out, do 50 milligrams for the first cycle. You'll build plenty of muscle on it. And but then like, your second or third, go to 100 because by then you probably should, if you were eating right and you were doing everything you were supposed to, you should be at that point where you can utilize it at that point because you'll probably have enough muscle to really take it in. See, what people don't understand is like you have to stay at a certain dose for a certain period of time for your body to upregulate to pulling in more. Like it's kind of like your body gets saturated really early when you take things and like more just like drips off the sponge, so to speak. You want just enough so there's no like say your body's like the sponge. You take enough so that the sponges it all up without dripping. Okay. That's the dripping is when you get sick. Okay. That's just an example. Um, and then eventually what happens is it's like you do the same thing long enough, and now that sponge doesn't get like saturated anymore because you build more like androgen receptors and things from having high androgens in your body. So it has more things to like pull in like a vacuum all the stuff you're taking. So now you can add a little bit more and you'll still saturate the sponge, but it won't drip. Get it? Like that's the best description I can kind of tell you. Um, so that's why it takes time to like increase the dose. Like it's not like people are just saying, don't do what I do because I don't want you to be cool, It's because you'll get sick or you won't feel great or you're just, you know, it's just how it goes. The like I think one of the other fitness guys in the industry said, take as much as you can until you feel sick and then pull back and that's your dose prescribed to you. So I mean, don't do it that way, but that's the idea. It's like find your breaking point and then go a little bit lower, and that's a comfortable point for you to stay on for a while. That's basically, how it works. So, um, so go on. Yeah, so you can use Anadrol and you can enjoy it. And it doesn't really cause gyno like all these freak people say and all this crap. And I've never seen anyone really hear of getting gyno from it. A lot of that stuff's like overplayed. And it's funny, it's I mean, this isn't for everybody, okay? But in general, that's why I don't like forums because a lot of the times they say, "Oh, you need a Ramidex, you need this, you need that," all these ancillary you know, protective measures like to be taken them without even having symptoms of needing it. Okay. So you're just like wasting your money, you're wasting, good products that you could use for an emergency and you don't even need it. I know people, including myself, who can run a gram of testosterone and not even need anything. I've ran 2 to 3 grams, all right, close to it. And I never need anything. I don't take anything. I just, I mean, granted, if you take 2 grams of test and like, then meanwhile, that's a normal amount from a guy like me who's been doing it for a long time. It doesn't feel like 2 grams. Okay, it took a long time, like a decade before I pushed it that high, because my body naturally just handles it well now. Before I tried it like way back, and I just felt sleepy and tired, and just like I just wanted to lay on the couch all day. And that's how I learned all this stuff. And then I got advice from other people who know what they're doing, and it's like a network. Like we all talk about like our experiences, and knowledge is shared, and eventually you just become very knowledgeable, and you know what to do now. Um, so yeah, don't rush it. Uh, because you will, if your body's like, going to be sensitive to this stuff. So if you haven't done it before, so just expect explosive results, like after like 3 weeks, say. Um, so yeah, just 100 milligrams. I wouldn't push much higher than that. You don't need it. And most people won't do the needful to need to take over that, because they're not going to be. Most people aren't interested in taking like insulin and HGH because they can't afford it. To put this size on that would justify them taking a little bit more, if that makes any sense. Okay. Um, and you don't need any of that, and don't do it without a supervision of somebody knowledgeable, like a doctor or coach that can do this for you. Okay. Keep it basic. Test. You keep the simple stuff in there, like test, EQ, Masteron. Those are the safest compounds, right? Primo, safe. Um, Everything else is kind of like BS. Beside, you don't need any of that other stuff to really. If you can't make gains on test alone by itself, there's no reason to do anything else, because you don't really need to mix compounds. To be honest with you, what happens is that uh, like you can some people, when they're trying to increase dosages, they just have a cap that their body can handle. Like say like they get side effects from some point in time with tests, like they just get too much water, or their estrogen gets out of control, and they don't want to take an Arimidex or something to control it. That's when they justify lowering it a little bit and implementing like a DHT compound, like a Masteron or a Primo, because that usually will like bring down the estrogen. It's got like an AI effect or anti-estrogenic effect on the body to help reduce estrogen from being a problem. It's People do that all the time. Yeah, and then there's the people who just want to run tests, and they take an AI and they control their hormones that way, and it works. So there's many ways to do this. Um, but yeah, Anadrol is pretty cool. And hey, I would tell anyone, don't be go for it. If you already have a few under your belt, like cycles and stuff. I say the beginner orals are probably like Anavar, Anadrol, T-ball. Uh, Even though no one really uses T-ball, I never really hear about it, but it's good if you use it for certain things. Uh, I don't recommend D-ball right off the bat, because you don't know how someone handles estrogen, and you don't want to have to scare them with getting like gyno and stuff. So it's easier to just go with the compounds that don't really cause gyno for anyone, which is mostly like the DHT compounds. Uh, and you'll have a good time. So I hope this information was kind of cool. Uh, you definitely will like Anadrol. It's fun. I'd put a little bit of like not facts, but like just food for thought on a lot of different things in this video too, because I just want people to understand that, um, you know, when I was growing up and stuff, when I was starting to research and stuff, like forums, like they put your head in circles, man. You don't even know like some of the stuff I did because I thought I had to do it. And then you realize like it's actually more simple than you think. It doesn't have to be crazy. And honestly, most people who eat religiously good and get the protein in, get the carbs in, drink the water, and take the minerals they need, that really helps the compounds work intensely. That's because what happens is people don't do their dieting enough. or eat the right foods enough, and then they pump it up more because they think it's not working, but in reality, you're just not eating enough food to feed it. It's like like the food is the fire, all right? And you throw it in on into the anabolics, and it just like, it goes crazy and it works. So, uh, think of it like that. So, if you're eating enough food and you're doing everything right, and you're gaining weight, but you start, losing your body composition, like, it's not looking good enough, then that might be a point to up it a little bit to help negate some of that. But food rules, man. Keep the compounds lower, because if you can't eat, you can't grow. It's the simple rule, man. You got to be able to eat to make gains. Okay, your body needs the protein, and the anabolics feed it, like use it. So don't think it's like the compounds do it themselves. You need to eat the food and get the carbs in, lift heavy, and create stimulation for your muscles to grow. So that's why I say, like, most people overdo it and underdo like the other stuff that makes it work better. So I'm gonna wrap this up here. If you need help, you can reach me on Instagram at Black Feather Fitness, all one word, and follow me. And if you need help, send me a message, and I'll be happy to answer some questions, maybe if you have a question. And if you need even more help, then you might need coaching. So I hope this helps. For this video, I am not a doctor. Uh, don't do as I say. It is all for information and educational and entertainment purposes only. And I'll catch you in the next one.